Well, 2 weeks into the ongoing conflict in Sudan, the U.S. began its first evacuation of civilians from the country. A convoy of buses carrying around 300 Americans made its journey along UN evacuation routes, protected by a fleet of U.S. drones. Now, this comes as a ceasefire had been extended for another 3 days, thanks to negotiations in part by the U.S. and U.K. However, there are multiple reports of fighting taking place throughout the capital, making evacuations even more difficult. The World Health Organization says at least 512 people have been killed. 4,200 have been wounded. We'd like to welcome Kate Hixon. She's the advocacy director for Africa at Amnesty International. Kate, thank you so much for joining us. We'll dive right in. Earlier this week, we spoke to a woman whose two brothers are stuck in Sudan after visiting the country. She described what it was like for her brothers when this conflict first started. Let's take a quick listen.
There was no indications. It was very normal up until the morning of, I believe, April 15th is when they woke up to gunshots. They saw military tanks everywhere, and they realized what was happening. But no, it was very normal. There was U.S. presence in Khartoum, Sudan, the capital. As you've seen, they evacuated all the embassy workers. So even for them, there was no warning.
So this is just one of many cases of people who are desperate to reunite with their families. Do you think the U.S. is doing enough to bring Americans home?
I think the situation is really difficult for all governments trying to get their citizens out, as well as for Sudanese people trying to flee the violence. Both parties have been using, the streets of Khartoum. They've been using explosive weapons with wide area effects in crowded areas, and that's made it really difficult for people to move safely.
So I know you know this. The World Health Organization is warning that more deaths are expected due to diseases, lack of services. Can you describe how dire the situation is for people there right now?
Yeah, the situation is deeply concerning. You have doctors unable to get to hospitals. Hospitals don't have electricity. They're running out of supplies. Right now, it's been difficult for the UN and others to get humanitarian aid in. There's also a huge problem at the borders. I'm hearing reports of people having to wait for up to 3 days to cross into Egypt. Refugee camps in Chad that were already dealing with budget shortfalls are now dealing with an influx of refugees. You're also hearing varying reports of people able to move safely into Ethiopia. And so you're having people who can't get access to water, to electricity, to healthcare in the cities, but then also they're meeting challenges when they reach the borders as well.
Yeah, certainly an all-around challenging situation. So we know that last clip that we played, Fatima's brothers were in Sudan to visit a sick relative. But do we have an idea of who the 16,000 Americans still in Sudan are? Are these people there for work, for family, dual citizens? Do we have a bigger picture look at this?
I mean, I think that's a question for State Department, who's put up some pieces on the website asking for people to register. But obviously, you had many people who are working in the humanitarian sector. You have dual citizens. You have people who are there for business reasons once Sudan started opening up. So there's a number of reasons why people might be visiting right now.
That makes sense. So what are the options for evacuating? We know some American citizens are reaching out in hopes of fleeing to other countries right now.
I think that is you should follow the U.S. government advice on that. For Amnesty International, we've just been tracking whether or not citizens are being treated, the parties are respecting international humanitarian law, and whether or not the citizens are able to move safely. But in terms of what are the options for U.S. citizens, that is a question that State Department is best placed to advise on.
So once this conflict is over, or at least settled, do you think we'll see another refugee crisis, or do you think most of the Sudanese people who fled will eventually return to their country?
I think you're already seeing Sudanese people who are really hopeful for the trajectory of their country and who would like to return and would like to be able to live in where they have been. I think no one wants to be a refugee if they don't have to.
All right, makes sense. Kate Hixon, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.